camera work and everything we do in there is all done in After Effects, and it's we have an amazing artist that works with us named Matt Gabwa, and he puts all those, he takes all the storyboard drawings and everything and somehow works his magic to make these like almost, you know, they're almost like fully animated scenes. It really gives you like a very clear picture of like all the action and everything. And yeah, if it wasn't totally, I realized we didn't set up the fact, it might be hard to tell in the drawings, but Mako does become a cop in for book 2. And
not Batman, just a cop.
Just a cop. And well, Bolin is kind of like, he's trying to find his way in the world. So book 2 deals a lot with Bolin kind of trying to find out what his path should be.
Trying to become a man. Yeah, be somebody.
So, yeah, I wanted to ask Andre, I didn't get to this earlier, but, you know, after we and the writers, you know, finished the scripts, Andre is one of the first people to see them, other than the people on the crew. So, I was always curious, like, when you get the script, like, what do you do to prepare for the record, and were there any, like, things you read from book 1 that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening? What are those guys thinking?
You know, what happened with Amon and Tarlok was absolutely shocking. And, you know, we do the initial record, and it goes off for animation, comes back 6-8 months later, and we ADR it. And I had forgotten what happened after the initial record, and then we could see it again in full animation. Like, oh man. He has the glove that sparks, and like, this can't end well.
It's a kid's show.
It's a great shot. It's just it's a beautiful. But what I do to prep a script is, we work from what's called a shooting script, which has all the stage direction as well as the dialogue. And so I read everything that's on the script, but I highlight just the things that I think need to be told to the actors that will affect their performance. So if they're doing a scene where they're actually running through the scene, or they're training during the scene, that will affect their energy. And then there's always the things, as we did the table read a moment ago, where you have to add some impacts. Okay, you get hit, you hit the wall, you fall down, or you gasp, and then you do the line, or there's laughter in the scene. So I add any of that stuff that can help us with the animation and make it a little bit more full. And I basically try to make it as easy for the actors as possible. We have a very relatively small recording booth that we work at Nickelodeon, and so we can't always all record together, and often the actors aren't all available to record together. So something else that I do is try to organize it such that actors who are in the scenes together can actually act off of each other. It gets you a better, I'm sure you guys can, you know, confirm this, if you can actually react to the actor that speaks before you and after, you get a more complete performance than me just reading the actor into the line. And, you know, if the other actors aren't there to work with, I have to get pretty much every possible read from the actor to make sure that we're covered, so that whatever cuts together, it makes the editor's job harder, but so we have a scene that makes sense in continuity and actually is in the same moment. But every once in a while you have actors recording 2-3 weeks time difference in between, and we'll get the scene back in animation, and one person will be speaking like this, and the other guy in the scene will be speaking like this, and we have to fix that because it sounds like they're shouting at each other. Did that answer your question?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we ended up getting, you know, some questions submitted through Facebook and the various websites and internets. And, but this was our favorite one because it says, as creators of the show, this was to me and Brian, obviously, what do you actually do while on the job? And I'd like to say, no, we just lounge around and have drinks. Oh wait, do not. What is a typical day on the job?
It's like Mad Men. We just yeah.
So a typical day for us is, I mean, usually we're kind of splitting duties. Like right now, I'm working with the writers, and we're coming up with stories for book 3, and then we're doing meetings with Joaquin to go over storyboards, and then running to, you know, when we were doing post-production of book 1, doing retakes, like, basically it's like, you know, we run the show, so we're overseeing every part of the production, which gets kind of crazy.
Yeah, and I'm the art director on the show, so I'm running the art department, and we have designers in Burbank with us, and then we have some overseas, and just combing through all that. I mean, it's just crazy the amount of design, especially when you're in these really complicated locations like a public city. Tons of people and cars and all that stuff, just the amount of stuff you have to do is nuts. So I always tell people, I've said this a bunch of times, but it's really true. It's like, I have every job I've ever wanted to have, but I have them all at the same time. Really, really hard. And so your day gets chopped up into tiny bits. And if I'm doing one thing, that means I'm neglecting a dozen other things. And it's just really hard. But yeah, we do a little bit of everything.
I can say, like, without a doubt, they're the most hands-on creators I've ever worked with, to the point where we'll be doing like a storyboard handout or a review, and Mike will somehow, or Brian will somehow, like, in between all the other stuff they're doing, say, just give me the scene, I'll do it. So then they'll go back to their office and crank away for like half the day and turn in this piece in between all the other stuff they have to do. It's amazing.
We're trying to do this.
Case in point, Mike and I, because we were starting over and we were able to bring in Joaquin and give him a much bigger role and a lot more responsibility. Mike and I were able to write book one together, just the two of us, which was really fun. And but as a result, all of my design duties fell, fell behind. And then for book two, we brought in Josh Hamilton and Tim Hedrick, our two writers from Avatar. And so Mike and those guys, formed a new writers' room, and I would be in there more initially in the beginning. It's always really valuable to be in there when you're kind of coming up with the general overview and the main characters and stuff. But anytime I spend in the writers' room means designs aren't getting done, and I get a lot of angry people. And then again, we've been kicking around. I've been sneaking away into the writers' room with them for the book 3 stuff, which is really exciting. So. It's crazy. Yeah, anyone who wants their own show, I just beware. It's not a cakewalk.
So we have one. I think we have time to do one last. We have one last little treat for you, for Andrea. You explain what you're doing.
Cool. I assume that you guys all know what Walla is, right? It's group sounds that are made. And as I said, we have a very small recording booth at Nickelodeon, and so rarely do I ever have more than 5 actors. But you'll remember in some of the pro-bending scenes where you see the arena, there are thousands of people. And guess what we have here? Thousands of people. Want to be my actors?
I hope you get a good quality recording of this. Because Ben, do you have your recording equipment? Because we're always like, Ben, we need a crowd that sounds excited and then disappointed and then mildly interested. And he's like, dude, that doesn't exist in a sound library.
Right. So what I'll do is I'll record the 5 actors that are in the room with me, and we'll address any specific characters that we see doing something very clear in a close-up. And we may do 3, 4, 5 passes, and then they will supplement that with sound effects. But let's have you guys do it, okay? So I'm going to direct you. So the first thing I want to do is I want to do anticipatory Walla. So, like the very first scene that we rehearsed today for you, they're getting ready to watch a big pro-bending fight. And so I need all of you, just kind of the way you were before this panel began, I need kind of quiet, like, oh, I'm so excited, this is going to be so much fun, I can't wait to see it. So it's not too big, not too loud, but I want everybody to do it. I'm going to give you an and we'll do it together. Ready? And. I'm so excited. Good. Excellent. Now, I want to do gasps. And I want to do one short, sharp, ready? Everybody together? And. And then I want to do one long, breathy, type gasp. Ready? Together? And.
You've just seen a mom scar.
How good you are. Now, you see Pabu do something incredibly cute, so it's like a, aww, gentle. Everybody, and. Beautiful. Now I want to do laughs, right? Laughs. So here's what I want to do. I want to do only women. Women first. And not big, not huge, just laughing. Something, we watch something happening in the pro-bending fight and Bolin falls on his butt and makes you laugh. So all the women only, and.
None of the guys thought that joke was funny at all.
Men, no. Men only. A little bit bigger than what the ladies just did. A little bit bigger laugh. And? Excellent. Excellent. And now, kids. Only people under 16 years old. I want to hear you all laugh. You ready? With me? And.
There's no one there.
Here. We're gonna do
they were 4 years old when Firefly came out, so no.
How are we good? We're good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Actually, this is it.
Okay, here's the last one I want to do then. I want to do, like, you're waiting to get the results of a pro bending match. You're waiting for the referee to tell you who won, and you find out, sure enough, it is the Fire Ferrets, and they won. Don't applaud, because we add that as sound effects or Foley. But I want big cheers from everybody. So it's going to be silent, silent, silent. I'm going to give you an and we're all going to just burst into a huge cheer of approval. A big roar of, yay, our favorite team won. Ready? Quiet, everybody? Quiet. And.
For them. We just want to thank them for all of their hard work and sacrifice. So.
Thanks for coming, guys, and I want to tell you that these guys are going to be signing down at the booth, the Nick booth, at 4113.
At what time?
I think it's 1:30, I'm not sure. Check this guy out.
Check this guy out. And tomorrow at Dark Horse at 2 o'clock.
Thank you, everybody.